Yo, what's going on, you guys? Skynet here, and we got another Dokkan video today, and as you've seen by the title and the thumbnail, I'm going to be taking my 55% Kid BUU with his Super EZA, and I'm going to be doing a bit of a showcase of his abilities against some of the difficult content that we have in the game. So there are going to be 3 fights that we have in this video. We're starting off right now. You see here, I have him set up with the Majin Buu Saga team to fight Fusion Zamasu in his Red Zone stage, so we'll be taking him on first. Then I'll be doing the Supreme Battle Spectacle stage against Gogeta. So that one will give a chance for him to see, for us to see his ability against a bit of type disadvantage and things like that. But I'll be taking him against that fight. And then the third fight and the final fight of the vid will be us against Buuhan from the Majin Buu Saga Red Zone stage. So those are the 3 fights. I will be doing quick cuts in between them. But anyways, I just want to say that. Also, before we get into the vid and into the fight really, I just want to say, big shout out has to go to your boy Mike. I'll leave a link to his channel down below, so definitely check him out if you guys don't know about him. He's an awesome content creator, and he and I were actually talking on Twitter, and he was mentioning how his Kid BUU has dupes, and he was curious how some 55% gameplay would look, and I was telling him, you know, hey, I'm thinking about doing a showcase. I'll definitely bring it up. I'll mention how we were talking about it because he was interested in it, so I just want to mention a quick shout out to him. Thank you, Mike. Hopefully you get a chance to see that. I think right now he is on a flight. So by the time I'm recording this is May 29th, which is a Wednesday, and I'm kind of pre-recording this, so I probably won't put this video out right now. I'll probably put it out maybe like half a week later, because I do have an exam to prepare for, so I'm kind of just taking steps beforehand to kind of pre-record and get things set up so that I can hopefully stay consistent while I kind of shut myself in so I can study. So that's kind of my setup here. Obviously just a bit of a quick preview, but anyways, let's go ahead and get into the fight, and we can hopefully do some major damage with Kid BUU against Fusion Zamasu to start things off on the right note. So, starting off here, we got double Super Saiyan 3 and BUU tanks, so decent start off. Unfortunately, Kid BUU on the 3rd turn, right, the 7th slot, so we will not see Kid BUU for a fair bit, so we won't see him, but that is okay. That does give me a chance to talk about Kid BUU as we get ready to see him, right? So, Kid BUU, first off, being a Super EZA, right, his leader skill and his super attack effect have not been updated since they were updated during his EZA years ago. So far as his leader is concerned, which is to explain why we don't have 2 Kid BUUs, his leader is all type Ki +3 and HP and defense 50%, along with raising attack up to 80%. The higher HP, then the greater the attack boost, right? So just a flat out HP and defense boost of 50%, and as long as your HP is high, we can max out at 80% for an attack boost. So that is like okay, but that's not really that good, especially in today's meta and given like all the different types of leaders we have, right? With 170% leads, 200% leads, Carnival, LRs, and stuff like that. Kid BUU's lead is just not like that, so obviously we're not taking 2 Kid BUUs. Apart from that, his super, it does cause immense damage and it lowers defense, but obviously for a fight like this against Zamasu, we are not going to be seeing that lowering defense kind of mechanic in play, so that is kind of unfortunate. It would be nice to see that, but it's not a big deal, right? It was never really that something that made or broke him, I guess, if I said that correctly. But anyways, the big thing about him, with any Super EZA really, is the passive skill. That's the only thing that gets updated, and for Kid BUU, his is a pretty damn good update, in case you guys don't know about Kid BUU, right? So just to explain it, right, as we're about to see him eventually, right? Starting off, he gets attack and defense 150% just flat out, along with a flat out damage reduction of 20%, along with an increased chance to perform a crit up by 20%. So those 3 different things are already just flat out included into Kid BUU when he just shows up, right? Again, that 150% stat boost, the 20% damage reduction, and the 20% chance increase to perform a crit. So already a really nice start there. Gogeta, or not Gogeta, but Gohan, I guess I will let you handle business here. This may be one of those situations where we may actually not even make it to Kid BUU because we may actually die beforehand, which I'm a bit nervous about. Let's see here. Go on tank, and hopefully you can get a bunch of supers before Zamasu does anything too crazy, because I really, really need you to survive here, buddy. But yeah, so Kid BUU, we mentioned him with his just kind of flat out boost, right? But that's only the beginning. On top of that, when he performs a super, he is boosting his attack and defense by 250% on top of the flat boost already. So that comes out to a total of 400% to himself already once he performs a super. Speaking of supers, we are about to get supered, so Zamasu, please show mercy. Alright, Gohan doing his thing. We love to see that. So that's actually very huge because, yeah, I knew the Vegito, the Super Vegito, or I guess the Goku and Vegeta technically, I knew they were going to take some damage. I just didn't know how much damage they were going to take. So that was definitely a good amount of damage they took. Hopefully they can get a bunch of supers here to boost their defense and all that stuff, right? But let me, I guess, hold off on talking about Kid Buu just to make sure we can survive this turn. Because if we don't survive this turn, we'll just have to go back into the fight, and I'll have to continue talking about it from there. So Vegito, let's see what you got here, buddy. Okay, that's good. Now we need Super Saiyan 3 Goku to dodge like he's never dodged before. So thankfully, being in the second or third slot, which in this case Goku's in the third slot, he has a better chance to survive, and thankfully we did. But yeah, that was definitely terrifying. That was definitely something I was a bit nervous about. And actually, I'm a bit nervous here too, because I have the feeling that Kid Buu is not going to survive this, and I'll say why. Kid Buu is a unit that I haven't gotten to this part of his passive, but he needs to build up. If he has not been built up, he can take some damage on the first few hits. And I think that's what we're about to see in just a moment. Can we dodge this Buu-Tanks? Because that would be a major boost for us. No, we cannot. Wow. How do we, that was, okay, so Buu-Tanks actually was the one who got cooked there. So I guess for the Kid Buu showcase, I'm happy it wasn't Kid Buu, but at the same time, I know we could have definitely beaten a stage before. So let's go ahead and get back into it. And I guess, you know, we talked about Kid Buu. I actually did try to run it through with this team before, and I actually did manage to succeed, thankfully, which is why I'm running it again. But that one was with items just because I was being a bit nervous. Now, obviously, I'm trying to do with no items just to kind of really put the pressure on Kid Buu to kind of handle himself well, I guess. How do I want to set you up here, buddy? Is that 3 attacks? That is 3. And I guess we'll get the 4th, so that's fine. I will go ahead and let Kid Buu sit in the second slot here. Because again, he does get that additional stat boost when he performs a super. And prior to that, that 250% boost to his stats is not existent in the turn. So that is a bit of a boost to himself that I would like to take advantage of as much as possible. And then, yeah, so he's already taking 122k. That will lessen as we get as we go through the fight, but for now, that's probably some of the highest damage that he will take. So we talked about his super attack effect, his flat out boosts, right? The big thing about Kid Buu, though, right, and this was something that existed for him since he came out on his original release, was that he was a support unit, and he is still a support unit to this day, right? So his Super EZA has changed his support com design in a couple of ways, right? As we are about to get super again. Can we please survive this? Thank you, Buu-Tanks, for finally dodging this. So, Kid Buu, right, when our HP is 70% or more, all allies are going to be getting Ki +2 and attack and defense 50%. So that is just all allies. It doesn't matter if you're in a certain category. It doesn't matter if you're super extreme class. It doesn't matter your type. Whatever the case may be, all allies would get that boost, right? On top of that, for super class allies, there will be an additional Ki +1 and attack and defense 10% boost. And for extreme class allies, they will get an additional Ki +2 and attack and defense 20% boost. So a bit of a distinction between super class and extreme class allies on that part, but really it's a small little kind of change there. It's not really too crazy there. So a bit of a nice support there. Of course, if our HP is 69% or less, there is a bit of support still. It's just a bit worse, right? So compared to the 70% or more kind of support, if our HP is 69% or less, all allies would get Ki +1 and attack and defense 30%, so it's a bit less there. And then on top of that, for super class allies, all they get is Ki +1, and for extreme class allies, they get Ki +1 and attack and defense 20%. So we do see a bit of a decrease in Kid Buu's kind of support as our HP gets a bit lower. So it's not the end of the world. He is still supporting, nevertheless. His support can get a bit worse if you find yourself losing HP like I was earlier, and how I'm still kind of a bit low right now. So that's kind of his support thing really focused on, right? Now we get into some of the other stuff that's really focused on Kid Buu alone, but it is really crazy. And the big thing here is that he gains an additional chance to perform a crit, increased up by 20%, up to a maximum of 40%, along with an increase to his damage reduction up by 20%, up to a maximum of 40%, every time he receives an attack 2 times in battle. So I kind of mumbled up the entire phrase there because, to be fair, it is kind of written in a weird way, I guess. But to kind of reiterate it, or I guess restate it or whatever, when Kid Buu is on the field, for every 2 attacks he takes, right, he is increasing his damage reduction and his crit hit chance, right? So starting off again, we had 20% up for his crit chance, and then we also had a 20% increase to his damage reduction just flat out. Then after 2 hits being received, Kid Buu will increase his damage reduction again by 20%, making a maximum of 40, and then the same thing applies to his crit hit chance. And then after taking another 2 hits, so a maximum of 4 hits in total now, Kid Buu will max out his damage reduction at 60% along with his crit hit chance. So altogether, pretty damn powerful to say the least. So that's one thing that I will say, for me personally, I am of the opinion that Kid Buu is the best Super EZA of the 3 so far. And I understand, especially for you statistics majors out there, that is a very small sample size, only 3 Super EZAs. But the fact that he is a support, the fact that he has damage reduction, which is quite consistent, right? As long as you're able to take a couple hits, which he can tank, especially after he does his super already. All that kind of going into it means he can really kind of survive really well. Especially, if he links with some good partners, like in this case, he's linking with BUU tanks. So, some really nice things there. And then also the last thing worth mentioning is he recovers 10% HP at the end of the turn every time he receives 2 or more attacks in battle, up to once within a turn, right? So in this case, Kid Buu is definitely taking at least 4 attacks, but at the end of the turn, he will only be getting 10% HP recovery, even though it doesn't matter because we managed to kill him. So we already are on to the STR phase. Can we get the Vegito? Nice. So let me go ahead and get Vegito out. Vegito will actually be a bit of a nice boost there because we will potentially get a Scouter, which actually is not going to be the case. That's very interesting. How does he link with the others? Actually, quite poorly, I'm not going to lie. So that is definitely a bit shocking to me. I thought he would link with Super Saiyan 3 Goku a tidbit better than he has. But that's okay. Super Vegito will still do his counters, still cook, still do his thing, so we will love to see that. But yeah, Kid Buu, definitely my favorite of the Super EZA so far. And if I have to kind of be a bit more, I guess, like crazy in a sense of like an opinion, I do believe that Kid Buu is the only Super EZA that doesn't definitively need dupes, I guess. And the reason why I say that is because, yeah, like dupes benefit any unit, especially Kid Buu, right? Kid Buu having, of course, that increased damage, having that increased boost to his defense just to start, means that he has a better chance to survive those early hits and then set himself up with a damage reduction down the line. But compared to like Super Saiyan 3 Goku and Gotenks, both of those serve the role of dodging and doing damage. Kid Buu, yeah, he can do damage, but that's not his role. His role to me is more so just surviving, getting that damage reduction, being a support, boosting the other allies with ki and stats and whatnot, and serving as a bit of an HP recovery if he takes a couple hits. That's really all his passive is focused on. And so yeah, again, that damage, yeah, a bit of a boost would be nice, so we can see maybe some 10 mils and stuff like that. But really, the support is his focus, and so the support is not being taken away because he is at 55% compared to 69% or 79 or 100%, right? So that's why to me I feel like he's the only Super EZA that doesn't definitively need dupes. The others, I feel like they need it more, especially because they're dodge units. The extra dodge will help kind of boost their survivability and all that sort of stuff. So that's just what I want to say there. Other than that, though, now we just got to enjoy the ride now that we got all the boring techno lingo, I guess like the kit lingo out of the way. Gohan taking a bit of damage. I'm not gonna lie, I was kind of shocked here to see how much damage he took there. But I guess that is okay in the sense that we did set ourselves up for the BUU tank's kind of a activation skill there, the active. So definitely can use that. And will Kid Buu, I guess, kill here is the question. Not Kid Buu, but Buuhan, I guess. Will Buuhan kill is the question. I do not know. But we do have Big Bad Bosses activated. So obviously, far as our stats, Kid Buu, by the way, not impressive as far as the stats are concerned. 120k, that is not good. Look, that does not look crazy. Obviously, if you guys remember any sort of stacking unit that just stacks defense, right, like AGL or Gohan or other units like that, even like the Tech Gohan in this team, right, their defensive numbers look a lot sexier. In comparison, Kid Buu's is just kind of ugly, right? But, it's like the SpongeBob quote, right? It's ugly, but it's like a paraphrase, I guess. It's not really the exact same quote, but his defense is ugly, but it's proud, I guess, whatever. So I definitely, I should not have brought up the SpongeBob quote. That was a fail, because I remember the quote as I was saying it. It was definitely not in relation to defense or nothing. It was more so just because SpongeBob was ugly, but whatever. So let's see here. We got the thing going here. I was going to say 88 million. It was like 8 million with Kid Buu. Will he get the kill here? I hope he can, just to show off. Nice. So we already beat Zamasu there, so that's actually a great start so far. Alright, so that's going to do it for the vid right now, but I'm going to do a quick cut, okay? This is not over. I'm going to do a quick cut, and I'm going to go into the Gogeta fight, so we'll do a quick cut here, and then I'll see you guys when we go into the Gogeta fight and starting off our death match, really, against him. Okie dokie, guys, so we are back with the second part of the fight right now, so obviously we do have the other team right now for the Gogeta fight. You see I did make a bit of a change, right? The last fight I did take the Super Saiyan 3 Dragon Fist Goku. This time now I have the Tech Exchange Buu, and actually because of him being in the picture, now that means the friend list wants to give me the Int Majin Buu, so I will gladly take that. Let's go in the fight. Obviously we're going to be taking on Gogeta, so hopefully a couple things can happen, not the least of which being that we can get Super Vegito out, because when Super Vegito is out, we can get the Scouter, and that means I can protect Kid Buu a bit more, and also, you know, the fact of the matter is we do kind of need Kid Buu to kind of get himself going to start here. So those are, I guess, the two big goals. Vegito, I guess, buddy, I'm sorry, but you really got to float off here, because I feel like I want the Tech Exchange Buu. Or do I really need the Tech Exchange Buu right now is the question? I don't think so. Actually, I'm going to let Vegito kind of stay in the front here, because I want him to, I'd rather him boost his defense and stay on rotations, rather than, you know, take all that damage at the end and, you know, go crazy, just basically get us close to death. So that's, I guess, what I'll do there. In Buu, he's going to be a nice factor, of course. This team overall is quite strong. Let me not, you know, ignore that, right? The fact that we have the Super Saiyan 3 Goku, the Super Vegito, the Buuhan, or I guess Buu Tanks right now, but Buuhan eventually, you know, they're all pretty strong units. So it's not like Kid Buu is definitively carrying the entire team on his back, on his tiny little 2 feet tall back. Just like, he's not carrying the team by himself, right? This is a team effort through and through. But Kid Buu, obviously, he is someone who contributes to the team being a support, and realistically, if he was just that bad, he would still let us down, even if the rest of the team was that good. So, you know, that's just, I guess, how the cookie crumbles, I guess is the right way to say it. Alright, Tech Buu, was that like 5.6 mil, I think that was? It's not too crazy, obviously, because we don't have all the links, but not too bad nonetheless. Ooh, 6 mil, nice. Alright, so we'll have to go through here. Hopefully I won't have to use items for this. I don't think I will have to. In fact, I will just do one fight on this. You know, if we win, we win. If we win. If we lose, we lose. I'll just do one fight because I don't want to take too long, obviously. I'm looking at my recording right now. I will trim a bit of the time spent in between the first and the second fight right now. But still, right now, we're about like 18 minutes. So, obviously, that's not going to be the same for you guys. But just to kind of give you an idea, I don't want to record too long of a vid altogether. Let me go ahead and keep Buuhan here, because Buuhan, of course, links well with Kid Buu, and all in all, I mean, I might as well kind of keep him kind of linked up, and just, if I'm trying to showcase Kid Buu, I might as well have him like a decent linking partner. And then 8 mil from Buu Tanks, I keep calling him Buuhan, but 8 mil from Buu Tanks, that is not too shabby whatsoever. Okay, so that, I was kind of worried for a second, because I was trying to remember how much HP the gods had. But I do need them to kind of, I need Buu Tanks to kind of slow down here, because I'm happy for him to, like, boost himself, of course. But I wouldn't mind if he dodged that, which he did not. I should have said that a bit earlier, so he might have listened to me if I said that a bit earlier. Although he tanked that, I gotta give him credit. He tanked that like a champ. Alright, so yeah, I did kind of want him to just kind of leave the gods alone, just so I can kind of let Kid Buu kind of ramp up there. Kid Buu, actually, to be fair, after that super, he might have killed him himself. He would have definitely killed him himself if he did a second super, so thankfully Kid Buu held back as well. But now we can go ahead and get rid of him, and then we can go into the next phase, which I actually forget exactly how the phases are designed. I believe it goes into the blues now, and then, yeah, it's the physical blues. So we go into them, and then I believe afterwards it goes into base Gogeta, and then Super Saiyan Gogeta, and then finally Gogeta Blue. So we do still have a bit of work cut out for us. How do I kind of... I guess Buu can float off here because of the type disadvantage and stuff, and rather... I mean, realistically, I'd rather let Gohan kind of farm himself up here. Okay, yeah, that's fine. Alright. Vegito, how are you going to handle yourself here, buddy? Again, I do want Vegito to come out, because Vegito, the biggest thing about him is the Scouter. And, you know, obviously I'm trying to show off Kid Buu, but let's be honest. Kid Buu is not surviving a super from Gogeta. At least I do not feel confident in that, especially with no items. I might be willing to give it a shot, but realistically, like, it's not something I feel confident in, to say the least. So I'd rather avoid it as much as possible. And if I'm trying to win, obviously, which I am trying to win, then I gotta be smart about how I play it. So that's just, I guess, the hope for me is I can get Vegito out. If we can't get him out, though, it is what it is. Then we just gotta hope for the best, and obviously Kid Buu will have to be, I guess, very lucky to avoid any supers that may come his way. Alright, 3 mil from my Gohan. My Gohan is also 55%, guys. I will say, I wish I had dupes in this Gohan so his stacking would be a lot better, right, between his attack and his defense. But unfortunately, 55% is all we got. That might do some damage. Is it going to kill us, though? If it kills us with Gohan... Okay, I was going to say, if it kills us with Gohan, I may actually elect to just go back into the fight, because, for one, this is already a pretty short run, but also, you know... If I'm gonna die, I want Kid Buu to die. I know we're trying to showcase him, I'm trying to, like, show how he's insane and everything, but at the same time, like, you know, if anyone's gonna lose, I'd rather it be Kid Buu just to show, like, his limitations. I guess that's how I kind of look at it. Alright, In-Buu, do your thing. Thankfully, In-Buu raising his defense, so by the time we get into the Gojitas and all that stuff, he will be a lot better. And then also, we do have his revive still, which means, you know, we do have a bit of a safety net if we can take advantage of it. Okay, sweet. Tech Exchange Buu in the picture here now. Or I guess Evil Buu, technically. And then let's go ahead and get Buuhan, why not? Get that full heal, really. And then, yeah, let's just do this. Let's just keep the rotations here, because we don't have Big Bad Bosses active, but wow, actually, he's linking... So all of his links right now are being triggered because of Evil Buu alone, which is actually pretty decent. Obviously, the big one we're missing, or two we're missing here. One is this one, obviously, but also Big Bad Bosses, which is a fantastic villain link. And the thing about this is the only villain who has that link other than Kid Buu is Buuhan. So that's actually why I was kind of keeping Buuhan in rotation as well. So I mean, I am going to keep him on rotation for that reason alone. I guess, yeah, this will have to be what we do here. So, let's see, Buuhan handling his business quite well here. Obviously, damn, 10 mil from the boy Buuhan. My Buuhan, by the way, I just checked him recently. He has only one dupe in him, so he is 69%. Obviously, for a unit like him, that means his damage is not going to be as crazy high as it could be, potentially. But yeah, 10 mil, that's pretty awesome. I'm not going to lie, that's pretty awesome. And then obviously he's going to do a couple supers here, additionals, so that is something we love to see. And then I guess from there, the only thing left... Because we already had the... I guess, yeah, that was the end of the attack there, right? Because I forgot he does the action break, I think is what it's called. In-game, I think it's just called action break, but really it's just like removing an attack or something, whatever. Right, Kid Buu, thankfully... Ooh, that could have been the kill right there. 11... Is that... No, actually that's 12 mil, actually. I might as well round up, because it's like, what, it's 50k away? Like, yeah, it's like, that's a 12 mil super from Evil Buu right there. So that's pretty good, obviously. The support from Kid Buu on top of the links. That's just really where that all comes together. Okay, now comes the interesting choices. So, I'm going to let Gohan stay in the front here. I'm going to let Vegito kind of do his thing here. And then Goku, I'm sorry my friend, but you have to kind of float off to the side here into like the abyss. Ooh, that was some damage. 7 mil though. Thankfully now that Gohan receives his attack, so his attack is a bit higher after he took that one hit. But still, that was some damage. Thankfully also, I forgot, Gohan can lower the attack on this phase, which is a big boost to us, right? Especially because our next turn is going to have 2 physical units, so the type disadvantage is definitely there. But more importantly than that, you know, just to be able to survive Gogeta in general, you know, even right now in this kind of turn right here, we definitely need that attack down. Now the only question is, can we get Super Vegito? I mentioned it earlier, I am hoping we can get Super Vegito. Please come out from those Potara earrings, because I really, really need you here to kind of cover my ass. This will be an interesting kind of situation here. Because a lot of people, you know, I've noticed a lot of people on Twitter kind of, I know it's kind of just like trolling sort of, but a lot of people throw shade on Vegito because his kind of active condition is a bit worse, I guess, in some ways than the Buuhan's condition. Because his is only possible for Super Vegito to come out if his HP is 77% or less from the 4th turn onwards, which, let's be honest, that's not really that bad. I don't know if some people really do believe that his condition is worse and therefore he's the worst unit, but, I mean, it's really not that bad. Although, obviously, right now, we haven't been able to take advantage of it because we've just been lucky enough to kind of avoid that situation altogether. However, I would not mind getting just a bit lower. Obviously, right now we're going to be healing a bit. You know what? This might as well be a good chance for us to see Kid Buu in action, right? There's a bunch of attacks there. I don't want to kind of rotate him off because then, you know, we won't see him for a bit, so that would be kind of a waste, I feel like. 17 mil from Buuhan. That is crazy. But yeah, so I do kind of want to let Kid Buu hopefully take some of those hits. We'll see, I guess, if he gets a super going his way. And from there, you know, we'll see how he can handle himself. But I guess this is a good chance to see how he can handle at least type disadvantage on Gogeta. Not even, I think it's Gogeta Blue who also has STR typing. But let's see here. Obviously, I said let's see here, but we still have to wait for I keep mixing up Bootanks and Buuhan. Now that we're in Buuhan, I keep saying Bootanks. But when I was in Bootanks, I kept saying Buuhan. This is, I don't know why my brain has crossed those wires, but it's just completely, like, all over the place right now. Okay, Kid Buu doing damage. Tanking, though, pretty decently. Pretty decent right there. Not gonna lie, that's pretty good. Obviously, you know, Gogeta attack lowering. We gotta be honest there. That attack lowering makes a difference. But still, Kid Buu, he could have taken some damage, for sure. And he did not, so still quite impressive. And yeah, we did get his his damage reduction built up and stuff, but yeah, still, pretty decent. Okay, Super Saiyan Gogeta. Let's, I guess let's just stick with Evil Buu here. Gosh, I'm really not happy about the fact that we don't have Super Vegito yet. I'm really not happy about that because, again, without him, I don't know where the super is coming. And without me knowing where the super is coming, I am in danger every single slot. Like, every single slot is a potential for danger. Right there is it's going to be some damage. How much damage is this going to be? Okay. This was meant to be a Kid Buu showcase, but Gohan definitely showcased that he is not like that in that moment. So, unfortunately, that is going to have to be, I guess, the stop of the fight. You know, I was going to probably do a redo if it ended a bit earlier, but I feel like we got to a good point. And obviously, we didn't see Kid Buu, I guess, manage to succeed. Although, I do want to mention here, I did beat this fight with this team before. So, there you go. I forget now if I used items. I don't think the record will show that. Actually, does it? No, so I didn't actually beat it with items. I actually forgot about this run, by the way. It's been a while. But I did manage to beat it. So, rest assured, Kid Buu can survive. But really, it's the fact that Gohan kind of let us down there. Obviously, Super Vegito not having him meant that I didn't know where the super was coming, so I couldn't plan ahead. So there's some other things like that. But Kid Buu definitely handled himself pretty well in this fight in particular. So let's go ahead. We'll do a quick cut here, and then we'll go into the Buuhan stage to finally kind of end off the video, obviously. So we'll go real quick into the Buuhan stage. Let's get to it. All right, so now we have the Buuhan team. So this is the same exact team as the last run. Obviously, now they've decided to give me a Super Vegito instead of an Int Buu, so that's okay. Let's go and get in the fight, and we'll just kind of run through it, right? So obviously, you know, against Fusion Zamasu, Kid Buu was a massive success. He was just handling business right there. He was laying down the law. He was pulling out that M on his belt and just flipped it to W for Wumbo and just whacked Fusion Zamasu in the head with it. And then Gogeta, you know, Gogeta was not having it. Gogeta was not into that sort of not into that sort of stuff. So he took a bit of offense to that, but he did not take it out on Kid Buu. He took it out on Gohan. So, bit interesting there. I am still kind of disappointed in Gohan that he couldn't have handled that a bit better. But to be fair, I mean, I can't really expect too much from him because he wasn't able to ramp up that crazy. And again, mine's only 55%. So I got to be a bit, you know, honest with myself in those sorts of situations. Alright, that's Friend Vegito. So Friend Vegito is going to cook, obviously. This should be an easy fight, by the way, guys. You know, Buuhan, I definitely do not think is even close to the level Gogeta is. But obviously, Buuhan still has a couple of difficult phases, you know, potentially. So obviously, this phase, you know, he's reducing our HP every turn. You know, he is immune to the ceiling, the stuns, and all that stuff, which is the typical boss kind of setup. But then once we get into Buuhan, the STR phase Buuhan, which is the next phase, then we may have a bit of challenge just because, you know, STR typing, so a bit of type disadvantage for the main hero here in this vid. And then also, you know, I mean, there is the benefit that we can lower his attack, but at the same time, he will be lowering our HP definitely by a fair bit more every single turn. Right now, it's only like 60,000. I believe in Buuhan's phase, it doubles into 120,000, so that can definitely come to bite us. But right now, obviously, we got to focus on the here and now. Let's see what we got here. And actually, I forgot about that, but because I was looking at some Dokkan information. But obviously, right now, you know, we just got sealed there. We got Kid Buu sealed, which is actually quite annoying. Actually, I'm not gonna lie, that is kind of pissing me off. Okay, so I guess Gohan, you can kind of float off for now, buddy. Float off for now, Gohan, because this is your punishment for dying against Gogeta. And I get Gogeta does damage. I'm not disregarding that. But Gohan, you're supposed to be like that. People call you the GOAT. Why are you not doing your GOAT shit? That's just my rant there. Okay, so Gohan, just go away. Go away. Take your punishment. I'll see you in like 2 turns. Or I guess 3 turns, actually. Isn't it like 3 turns? The next turn is 1. Yeah, 3 turns. So I'll see Gohan in 3 turns. But I guess more legitimately, I just kind of want to keep Tech Buu just so he can kind of do his thing. Obviously, you know, when he gets into Evil Buu, he'll be able to benefit from Majin Power allies. So I kind of want to keep him there. Alright, Tech Gohan 3 mil. Not too shabby. Obviously, we didn't receive an attack, so his damage is not going to be as high just quite yet. But as long as we are able to stack our defense, that is key. And, I mean, realistically, based on the HP that we still have to deal with Buu-tanks, I don't think we'll have to worry about Buuhan for at least another 2 turns. So, all in all, I feel kind of good about the idea that we'll be finding ourselves in, like, I don't want to discuss. I feel like we're good as far as, like, not having to worry about missing out on Gohan and his attack down and all that stuff, kind of a super attack mechanics there. I didn't get the 12th key with Goku, but to be fair, he is sealed, so I guess to be honest, it really doesn't matter. Meanwhile, oh, that's the super, okay. This should not do really any damage to the Super Vegito, especially because this is the 100% one. 54k though, actually, I honestly thought it was going to do, like, double digits. So, a tidbit of damage, nothing too crazy, but just a slight bit. Obviously, if we can get Super Vegito, that would be a dream. Let's see here. And actually, I guess I gotta think about it, but yeah, we may actually not even... I know for a fact we weren't going to beat Buu-tanks this stage, or not this stage, but this phase. I was thinking we might have been able to do it by next phase, or next turn. Oh wow, I'm messing up all my, like, terminology. So okay, let me start over. I knew we were not going to beat Buu-tanks in this turn. I thought we would do it next turn, though. I don't think that's going to be the case, though, based on how much HP he has left. Let me say it like that. Okay, I feel like I finally got it there. I don't know why my brain is just mush right now. Probably because it's like 87 degrees right now. I am, like, baking right now, so maybe my brain is melting, guys. Maybe you're seeing it, maybe you're hearing it, I guess, in real time for me. But yeah, my brain is melting here. But that is okay. As long as Kid Buu can cook, and as long as we can beat Buuhan, then does it really matter? Does it really matter if my brain melts? I don't really know. I hope it doesn't matter. Alright, Evil Buu. Let's see, I was gonna say let's see some damage from you, buddy, but he got sealed, so I think Buu-tanks heard my plan. I mean, not Tech Orb, but the SDR Orb alone is fine. I mean, it's not really a big deal. But yeah, without Evil Buu and his supers, we are definitely going to have to wait another turn or 2 to get through the next phase here with Buuhan. So it definitely will take a bit of time. That's the only issue, I guess, with some of these units, right? Like, is the fact that the Exchange Buu, I should say, he does take a bit of time to get into this turn or into this unit, right, the Evil Buu, and now that we have him, obviously, with the ceiling, we can't take advantage of his damage. The Super Vegeta, right, Goku and Vegeta, they're not boosting their attack with their supers, other than just, like, for the one turn. Really, they're a defense stacker, so if they could have also been able to stack attack, yeah, they would have been a lot more fun. But, kind of just stuck there, I guess. Gohan, I kind of want to push you to the slot here. Let me go ahead and do that. And then I guess the Super Vegito can just go ahead and do his thing there at the end. Hopefully just surviving, I guess. Gohan, can you kill Buu-tanks by yourself, I wonder? there is a good chance here. And actually, I mean, it doesn't matter, because even though he may not be able to, Goku is definitely going to get his licks in. So it really doesn't really matter. But that is the third super from Gohan, so an additional stack is something we'd love to see. There you go, we got Bootangs out of the way. So now we are into Buuhan. And this is already like a 36-minute recording, so I really do gotta speed this up. Buuhan, let's go ahead and get you on the field. Alright, so now we don't have to worry about sealing, thankfully, so I'm not gonna fixate on that. Buuhan, I'm just gonna kind of let you rotate off for a moment, because I think the exchange Evil Buu is gonna do a bit better. And then 10 mil, actually, that's not as crazy as I would have liked, but still better than nothing. Can you dodge this, Evil Buu? Thank you, because Buuhan was not lowered as far as his attack or defense or nothing, so we were definitely going to see some damage, I feel like, if Evil Buu took that head on. Although, now that I say that, Kid Buu is handling himself, so maybe not, because, I mean, Evil Buu has more damage reduction than Kid Buu does, right? So Kid Buu, he has 60% maxed out. The Evil Buu, he is able to max out at 70%, so he probably would have been fine, honestly. Alright, Buuhan, can you do a lot of damage here? That is not a lot of damage. That was nothing even close to a lot of damage. That was really, really pathetic. Buuhan, come on here. Okay, at least the dodging is going. Okay, Buuhan. The defensive power is there. Not enough HP to get Super Vegito out, but that's okay. Let me go ahead and activate the active there. Might as well, just for additional damage. And then I guess Gohan, same thing. You know, we're going to keep you in the front there, just so you get a boost to your attack, but also so that we may be able to lower Buuhan's attack himself. Nice, there's a boost there. And now we can start lowering Buuhan's attack, which means he is going to do nothing to us, which is exactly what I want to happen. So, thankfully, Gohan here showing up and showing out after getting his ass blasted by Gogeta. Pause. But, yeah, I mean, Gohan definitely got the worst of it last run, so now he definitely has to get his get back, for sure. And I mean, is this canon? This is not canon, because we're fighting Buuhan, so this is not canon. But, I mean, Gohan does need his get back, so. Alright, now Goku, if Goku can do a lot of damage, that will definitely help speed this up. I do want to kind of get the video going here. I don't want to obviously take too long just fighting Buuhan of all units. But Buuhan does have 5 phases, so I gotta be able to recognize the fact that we're gonna be here for a moment. Okay, Goku, nice. Tanking that. Can he tank this? Actually, Goku should be able to tank this no problem, I think. Yeah, because damage reduction plus the attack lowering, he's fine. Awesome, so we got the big damage in there. Although Buuhan's attack was increased, because I forget, his attack is increased when he does his super thing. But it shouldn't be the end of the world. But, alright, so I guess while we're doing that, let's see here. Who we have on the next rotation is going to be Evil Buu. It's going to be, I think, is it the other Vegito? It's not the other Vegito. It should be all, or it is the other Vegito. Yeah, I'm tripping. Does that get us? Oh, that was perfect. Thankfully, we were able to get Vegito out on the field. Okay, so we can do that. Let's go ahead and get Evil Buu out there as well, or I guess Super Buu. No Rainbow Orbs, which does suck, because Rainbow Orbs means we can do more damage with the Super Buu. But at the same time, you know, we are able to take advantage of Super Vegito's counters, so there is a bit of a trade-off there. And 16 mil from Super Buu anyways, so. I mean, yeah, we could have seen some more damage, but that's still a lot in and of itself, for sure. Alright, Kid Buu, what do you have for me here? 9 mil. Nice, nice, nice. And then Super Vegito, he honestly should be able to kill Buuhan by himself, which would make this canon, actually, now that I think about it to a degree. But yeah, between all the counters and the 2 supers that we got going on here, I think he can only do 2 supers, maybe he can do 3. But obviously we do have the second super right here, so that's going to do some good work. And then all the counters right here with the crits. Yeah, Buhan is cooked, buddy. You are cooked, buddy. Get out of my face and let me go into the next phase. Okie dokie, back to Bootanks. So now Bootanks is going to lock character switching. He decided to lock Gohan of all people, which I'm not too mad at, I guess. You know what? Realistically, I guess Goku can just kind of do his thing there. And then Gohan, do I want to let you stack one more time? I guess I'll let him stack one more time, and then I'll get the Ultimate Gohan out and ready to play. So that's, I guess, what we'll do there. Meantime, I guess what's worth talking about. I guess the big thing to talk about right now, obviously, as I'm like recording this, I think I mentioned earlier, but this is like one of my pre-recorded vids. So this will probably come out, you know, right now is May 29th, probably like, I don't know, maybe like June 1st or was it June 2nd, I guess, this Sunday? Probably like June 2nd or maybe June 4th. So just kind of given like an understanding of like when this will probably drop. Obviously, when you guys see the vid and everything, then you'll know it dropped at that point, obviously. But just so you know how far back, I guess, it is. Also, I guess worth mentioning, obviously, right now, we have something to talk about, which is the sync up, I guess. This is kind of like this is not really relevant to the vid, but I do kind of want to mention my thoughts on it. But for those who are aware, especially by the time this vid comes out, you will definitely be aware. But globally, you guys are getting Frieza, and you're getting Dodoria for the side banner, which is like the typical thing, right? But also you're getting a side banner Trunks, it seems like, on that Frieza banner, or at least that's what I think it is. And then also JP, you know, we're getting Rose with a side banner Trunks, which globally you guys didn't get right away. Buhan, are you going to take damage here? You did take some damage. Okay. Thankfully, we're able to handle the rest. But yeah, so the sync thing is kind of getting a bit weird. I'm seeing a lot of global players, you know, just getting really pissed off because, you know, they're just like, well, what are you guys doing? You know, are we going to get a sync or not? Like, what's going on here? You guys are like, I asked some people, I'm like, what is the issue? You know, because I mean, I actually messed up there. I should have let Super Boo stay there. But let me leave Kid Buu there instead then. But yeah, like, a lot of global players were like upset about it. I was asking them, like, you know, what's the issue? Because obviously, you know, everyone understands, you know, Frieza is not that good, especially because the rest of his team is ass. Like, he is a good unit, but the rest of his team is just garbage. His requirements, as far as like his passive is concerned, require really trash units. So, like, what's the issue here? Like, you know, I don't really understand. And the way that things were being explained, I kind of understand where global players are coming from. And global players, feel free to comment down below your feelings on the matter. But for me, the understanding that I got was that for global players, it feels like they are pushing away from the sync rather than towards the sync. Because right now, obviously, you guys have your anniversary, which is going to start at the early part of July. And that's going to be for the month of July, probably into a bit of August, right? Between the whole anniversary. So you do have that time slot kind of already set away for like something major, right? The anniversary. Before that, there are some other kind of things that you're still missing. Obviously, Topo is a unit that you're missing along with the special pose kind of boosts in general. You are missing some other units like that, of course. But we are, on JP, we're continuing to just progress forward, right? We just are going to continue to get our Tanabatas, our Dokkan festivals, and all that. So I did see a lot of people just get upset about the fact that it seems like Global's getting hoed in that sense. But, you know, it's an interesting kind of a situation. I really don't know how to kind of offer my thoughts on it. Me personally, like, I will say, I think also a lot of people were saying that they were hearing about the sync up gonna happen in like summer. I was confident before that information came out that we were gonna get the sync up in Worldwide Celebration, and I still remain confident of that to this day because thematically it makes sense. You know, as far as like time is concerned, that's like the end of August. You know, I think they should do it in part 2, so that would mean that it's like basically middle of September. So, you know, I feel like that's the better time for the sync up if they were planning to do it. But also, you know, I think between a lot of people believing the sync was going to happen sometime sooner than that, along with, you know, things like the fact that you guys didn't get a side banner Trunks to start off your Rose summons, I think those are the things that kind of really irked some global players. So I do understand where they're coming from. But it is a weird situation for sure. I mean, the sync up itself is tricky, right? Because JP, you know, a lot of people are like thinking like, how can we get the sync to work, right? The fact of the matter is JP can't really help you guys. You know, JP is not really in a position to help because the fact of the matter is we have to keep pushing forward, right? If we just decide to like slow down, so that global will pump out releases, and by just rule of like pacing, they will catch up with us. By that kind of decision making, JP players will be pissed off because we're not getting new content, new units, and that will kind of mess up our flow. So, you know, it's kind of hard really to say like what's the right move. To me, I think one of the best examples of the right thing to do is the fact that Global took the Part 3 EZAs for the like the anniversary, right? The Part 3 anniversary EZAs, and they put them with the whole kind of the whole Golden Week celebration. I think that was like the right thing to do for sure. Obviously, you know, helps like kind of motivate players on Global to like push for Golden Week units and stuff, Majin Saga units. But also, that means Part 3 is kind of opened up now for Anniversary. We really don't know what's going to happen for Global on the Part 3 Anniversary. I was kind of offering my thoughts to some other Global players on Discords and whatnot on some servers. But, you know, I think the idea that came to mind for me is that now the Part 3 is kind of open for you guys on the Anniversary, this gives Global a perfect chance to just toss in one Dokkan Fest or maybe an LR or something, right? You know, I was remembering some YouTubers were mentioning how, you know, Global's probably going to miss out on Tanabata between the actual Dokkan Fest and the Carnival LR. And obviously, you know, in the past few years, Tanabata has had some really great units, right? You know, obviously the Carnival LR last year was Omega. The Dokkan Fest was the Super Saiyan 4 Goku, who isn't that great now, but he was really, really decent on release. And then the year before was honestly an even more different story, because that was Vegeta and Trunks along with the Fusion Zamasu. So definitely a different kind of Tanabata units there, of course. But Tanabata is one of those kind of celebrations that seems to put out some really good units during the middle of the year. So I know people were really kind of concerned that Global was not going to get that, and I feel like now with Part 3 open, I feel like that is the best chance for Global to get the Tanabata units, because unless I'm mistaken, the Tanabata Dokkan Fest along with the Carnival LR should both be released and, you know, publicized and all that stuff by the time Part 3 hits for Global. So JP, we should already have a chance to pull for him and all that stuff. So if that is the case, then Global can definitely, I feel like, put those two into the Part 3 and do 3 sets of banners. So start off, of course, with Gogeta and Broly, then Beast Gohan and Gammas, and then the Carnival LR and the Dokkan Fest for Tanabata. I feel like that's a good way to kind of push forward the sync, if that is the goal. But, you know, that's not really up to me. That's up to Global, and it's up to the devs to kind of decide how they want to play things, both between JP and Global, obviously. Other than that, though, obviously, we did manage to beat the Buff BUU, I guess, or the South Supreme Kai Absorb BUU. So, thankfully, we finished Buuhan. So, that obviously ends the 3 fights. But let's go ahead and real quick talk about Kid BUU, I guess, just before we end the vid, right? So, Kid BUU, obviously, when he came out, he was designed to be a support. Even now, he is still that guy, even more so, especially with all the damage reduction, the boost to his own crit, all that sort of stuff. He is just an awesome unit. Again, you see mine is 55%, not even full link level 10, despite my efforts to kind of farm his links up and all that stuff, but he's not complete yet. But he was still able to put in work. He was still handling even situations with type disadvantage, like the STR Gogeta in that fight. Now, obviously, in that fight in particular, we didn't get to Gogeta Blue, thanks to Gohan again, but at the same time, you know, BUU was still able to handle business, and that is really what I want to show here, guys. So, again, now, when we look at Kid BUU, again, I feel that he is the best Super EZA. I'm sure a lot of you guys probably feel a similar kind of fashion about Kid BUU, but just understand that 55% Kid BUU is definitely like that. He is definitely insane, and he's definitely a unit worth having and using in your roster if you haven't had a chance to do so just yet. With that being said, though, guys, that's going to do it for the vid. If you liked it, of course, hit the like button down below and subscribe so you can see more vids like this in the future, and comment down below your favorite part of this video. And on top of that, feel free to check out some of the other content I have on my channel and some of the other vids I have put out so far. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you all in the next one.